Hello, everybody. You wiggly have to say hello back. It is I, the boringest of all hosts, the captain of this ship. It is Captain Boring. Your 10-minute sports report is right around the corner. I want to thank everyone so much for listening, tuning in, subscribing, sharing, whatever you guys do. Make sure you guys continue to do that. If you aren't subscribing and sharing, please feel free with your friends. I feel like I do a pretty good job. Half decent. Not great. Not even good. Not even okay. You know what? Scratch that. It's bad. Let's just all be clear here. It's not. It is ungood, as Reese Davis would say. So, thank you for tuning in, making me a part of your day. I do appreciate it a lot. Let's just jump right in. We had NFL Week 1. We had College Week 2. We have the lowest salary teams in baseball still. Busy Monday. We're going to get right to it. We're going to start off with some college football, but not some scores. We'll start off with something else, and then we'll get to the scores. Alrighty, so on Friday's edition, I believe, of the 10-Minute Sports Report, I believe I said that Washington State and Oregon State were suing for the rights to control the Pac-12, or what's remaining of it, which is just Washington State and Oregon State. Well, Judge Gary Libby ruled in favor of Oregon State and Washington State in Whitman County Superior Court on Monday. After they jointly filed, Washington State, Oregon State, that is, a complaint on Friday that saw a potential of the Pac-12 meeting as a board and voting as an imminent and existential threat to the future of the conference. The judge barred the Pac-12 from meeting as a board and barred any voting to continue. The ruling for temporary restraining order for both prevents the Pac-12 board meeting scheduled for Wednesday and also sets up a preliminary injunction hearing that is expected to determine who comprises the voting members of the Pac-12 board. Again, basically, Washington State and Oregon State are saying if everyone is leaving here, they shouldn't have the rights to say how this league conference is moving forward. If we're going to be the only two that are staying, we are the ones who should determine going forward what should be allowed and isn't. And a judge in Whitman County Superior Court agrees with them, and I'm on Oregon State's and Washington State's side with this, absolutely. Oh boy, in a week that was in college football, the top 5 teams, Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, and Ohio State, all rolled in non-competitive matches. Simeon called for J.J. McCarthy to be a Heisman. He's putting up quite a candidacy. However, the quarterback who's quarterbacking the 6th-ranked team in the country, Caleb Williams, is just doing it again. He might be a back-to-back reigning Heisman winner. I would not be surprised. Penn State at 7 blew out Delaware. Washington at 8 blew out Tulsa. Tennessee at 9. Rough first half. Only 9 points in the first half against Austin Prey. 30-13 eventually. And then Notre Dame at 10 after a lot of weather delays, finish off NC State 45-24. The shock, though, came at night in Bryant-Denny Stadium, where the number 11, now number 4 Texas Longhorns dominated the Alabama Crimson Tide. It was close for stretches, but then in the fourth quarter, 21 points scored in the fourth quarter. Texas beats Nick Saban and Alabama in the fourth quarter, 34-24. Quinn Ewers was phenomenal. 349 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had this beautiful deep ball in the second quarter that was just awesome to see. Alabama has a quarterback problem. Their quarterback, Jalen Milroe, cannot throw from the pocket. He's a great athlete, cannot throw from the pocket, and they're going to need someone who can throw from the pocket to continue. So really the only shakeup this week is that Texas is now number 4. Everything else pretty much stays the same as we go into week 3. It's going to be excellent. I will keep you all apprised of any real major upsets. LSU put 72 on Grambling, so that's not a major upset there. But I'm going to keep track of the top 10 as we go throughout the season, and of course, a little Michigan. Great games, though, down farther. North Carolina, Appalachian State was awesome. Utah, Baylor. Utah almost lost to unranked Baylor. So it's going to be a great college football season. We got 2 down. We got 10 to go. That makes my heart hurt, so let's not think about this. Let's switch over to the NFL. And in week 1 of the NFL, injuries are already happening, especially for injury-prone and running back of the Baltimore Ravens, J.K. Dobbins. He was a Wolverine killer back in his day at Ohio State. In the team's 25-9 win over the Houston Texans, running back J.K. Dobbins tore his Achilles, ending his season. He just got back from ACL surgery, probably more than likely ending his career or the prime years of his career as he's a running back. So he had a touchdown early in the game as well. So bad news for him, as I never like to see any professional athletes get hurt, but especially him. He just recovered from ACL. He was an awesome running back in Ohio State. I hate to say that because Michigan fan, as you can see from my hat, but he was awesome at Ohio State, and I thought he would have a nice, long, productive career, and he just cannot stay healthy. Well, your defending Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs, lose exactly 1 game without their star defensive tackle, Chris Jones, and it is all bells and whistles going off, so much so that he gets a new 1-year extension. That's what he wanted. The Kansas City Chiefs have agreed to a 1-year contract with defensive tackle Chris Jones, the team announced Monday. Financial details were not disclosed. My guess is he gets a pay raise, little of this, little of that. Shave off the top. But again, Patrick Mahomes, his 10-year contract at $500 million. While it's $50 million, it's very team-friendly, which allows them to sign players. Their defense wasn't the problem, though, in their Week 1 loss. It was the fact that they couldn't catch the football. Okay? And that's pretty much it. All right, some notable scores around the league from week 1 of the NFL. The Eagles took care of the Patriots on the road 25-20 in a sloppy, weird game. Jalen Hurts was not good at all. Falcons took care of the Panthers, and number 1 overall pick Bryce Young did throw 2 interceptions, but he got his first touchdown during the game. Joe Burrow, new $275 million quarterback Joe Burrow had 82 yards passing in a 24-3 loss against the Cleveland Browns. Dr. Kev, maybe I'm wrong about the Cleveland Browns. Maybe the Cleveland Browns can win the Super Bowl. Who knows? It is decided. The Jaguars stave off a comeback from the Indianapolis Colts to win 31-21. The Buccaneers beat Kirk Cousins. Richard Jefferson had a day. Justin Jefferson, not Richard Jefferson. That's a retired basketball player. 9 catches, 150 yards, but it was not enough as the Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield beat the Minnesota Vikings 20-17. The Saints get a 1-point win at home against the Tennessee Titans, 16-15. The 49ers absolutely routed the Pittsburgh Steelers, 30-7. The Commanders beat what will probably be the worst team in all of football this year, 20-16. The Ravens, I touched on already. Jordan Love, doesn't matter who's quarterbacking for the Green Bay Packers, they beat Chicago Bears, no matter what, 38-20. The Raiders beat the Broncos. Broncos country, let's die, LOL, 17-16. Dolphins, Tua, no more concussion, 466 yards, 3 tutties, uno interceptions, 36-34 win over the Chargers. The Rams beat the Seahawks. That's good to see because they were getting blistered by the Seahawks 30-13. Matthew Stafford 334. And then the Cowboys let the Giants have it in what can only be described as public assault on your television, 40-0. And I'm not making light of the assault, of any assault charges, so please don't cancel me for that. Not that many people listen anyway. Time to tune in to your lowest salary teams in baseball. If I can get my screen to load. The Baltimore Orioles finally lost a game. They had won 7 in a row before losing to the Red Sox 7-3. They are 90-52. They sit a comfortable 3 games ahead of the Tampa Bay Rays for first place in the AL East. Speaking of these Rays, they're getting hot and maybe putting a little pressure on the O's, if you know what I mean. They have won 3 straight, and 5 of their last 6 games. They won all but 1 game of a 4-game stand against the Seattle Mariners, 7-4, 7-5, 6-3. They are 3 games back of the Baltimore Orioles, but in first place in the wild card. The lowest salary team in baseball, or the last one we're checking in on, the Cincinnati Reds. They're having a rough time right now. They have lost 3 out of their last 6, so they are 500 in their last 6 games. However, they did win their last one out 7-1 over the St. Louis Cardinals. But they lost 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are the worst team in the division at 63-80. They are 3 games over 500, though, in that division. Ladies and gentlemen, just to let you go, on Monday, these 10-minute sports reports probably going to be closer to 15 minutes, so come prepared for that. I just got so much to cover, but I will try to get through it without dilly-dallying. The Orioles, the Twins, and the Houston Astros sit atop the American League East, Central, and West, respectively. The Houston Astros now sit 2.5 games ahead of the Seattle Mariners. The Atlanta Braves have clinched a playoff berth, and they are the first team in Major League Baseball to do it. They sit at 94-49, best team in baseball record-wise, 16 games ahead of the Philadelphia Phillies. The Milwaukee Brewers sit a comfortable 3 game ahead of the Chicago Cubs in the Central, and the Dodgers at 87-55, 13 games ahead of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Check in on the wild card. Tampa Bay Rays are now 8.5 games ahead of the Toronto Blue Jays for first place. Toronto Blue Jays sit 1 game ahead of the third place Seattle Mariners, and the third place Seattle Mariners only sit a half game ahead of the Texas Rangers. The Boston Red Sox have decided not to go poo-poo on the pot, so I will stop covering them as they are 6 games back now. So really the race in between the Blue Jays, the Mariners, and the Rangers to shore up the last spot in the AL wild card. Switch it over to the NL wild card. A little more teams, a little more congested. Philadelphia Phillies 3 games up on the Chicago Cubs. No problem there. Chicago Cubs 2 games up on the Arizona Diamondbacks. No problem there. So far, again, a little losing streak, a little winning streak from any, can switch places pretty quick. Arizona Diamondbacks, third and final wild card spot. Half game up on the Miami Marlins. 1.5 games up San Francisco Giants. 1.5 game up on Cincinnati Reds. So Reds need to pick it up. Giants need to pick it up. But it's all kind of right there. You got 6 teams that can make or break a season with a 3-game losing streak easy. So stay tuned down the stretch. Again, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays for your 10-minute sports report. This has been your 10-minute sports report. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, do what you do. Go follow us on Instagram at 4th and 1 Podcast to keep up with all of the college football. I posted my top 10 today. 1 through 4 may surprise you. Where I have Michigan may surprise a lot of people. So please go on, interact with there on Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, I don't know. Grow up a little bit. Don't be so old. Yeah, just pretty much that. Okay, I'm just joking around. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. God loves you. God bless you. Wash your hands, you filthy animals, and peace out.